Good morning, everyone. I want to talk about something that has been bothering me for long, that has been disturbing my heart. We go to school individually to study, to become who we are meant to be. We learn different courses in the school curriculum. We complain after school of corruption, social instability, killing, and bad governance and mismanagement of resources that are meant to grow and develop our society. But looking back again, throughout the time of my schooling, or through the time I was in school, there was never a lecture or there was never a time we are taught on the need to discover ourselves, the need to discover our inherent ability, the need to discover the potentials that are inherently deposited in us. And as such, we never understand that to build a society, to first build a developed and a growing society, we need to build the mind of an individual in that society to understand that we all have deposited abilities, deposited on information, and deposited attributes or ability inherently that we are meant to discover. And when we discover them, we'll be able to refine them to use and utilize them to become better people. Because a mind that is not well structured, a mind that is not well planned to understand how to become himself, to understand how to use the deposit of potentials that God has inherently deposited in him, such mind can become programmed and can become whatever someone who wants to manipulate him using information to become. And the terrorism we complain on a daily basis is part of it. Because an informed mind will always be enlightened to understand that there are basic principles in life that he or he needs to explore, discover, and build to help himself to become a greater person in the society. But the system of education we have does not have those curriculum to teach us that we have inherent ability. All through my time in school, from primary school, because I didn't attend kindergarten or nursery like some of us have the opportunity to. But I have the opportunity to attend primary school, and tertiary institution. But all through in class, I have never had a lecture or teaching on inherent ability or potentials of individual person. Even on sessions with the guidance and the counselors, no one has ever taught or let me know that there is something called inherent ability or deposited potential in each individual human being. And as such, we are all chasing after passing exams, after acquiring the best certificate, forgetting and neglecting the most important part, which is actually discovering what we have inbuilt inherently before we talk of discovering them, and then working towards exploring them to help us to become better people in the society, and people that will have innovative ideas that we will develop, grow, and make meaningful use so that they can become something that we use to develop the society, develop someone who needs that information. Because whatever you have inside of you is not only meant for your own use. Yes, it is something that is meant to help you, structure you, groom you, and provide for you, because you sell the information out to somebody that needs it. But because someone who needs that information was unable to meet you, or you were unable to develop yourself and give him that information or sell that information to the general public, the person died without becoming himself because he never had the information that he needed to understand or needed to come across that will build him, because we are individual supposed to be ladders. Ladders that number A we climb, number B we climb to attain a level he is supposed to attain in life. So all through the society now, we cry of insurgency. We cry of different social instability, ranging from terrorism, corruption, and so many social vices today. And we are not even seeing any possibility of it being curtailed or being managed. But all we see is continuous social instability with no growth plan or development. And then we keep complaining and blaming those in the position of power. But we have forgotten that when a system is not designed well to manage the mind of an individual, even you that is complaining might possibly do the same thing if the opportunity is given to you. And which is why in our homes, family, which is the first foundation of the society, we need to be able to teach the younger ones, teach ourselves to understand that the mind of every individual human being is growable, is something we can grow and develop to become either positive or negative, because informations are meant for human development, but information are also or can also be used as a weapon of mental slavery that will lead individual person to become either a terror to the society. Because when we have people in the society today that, looking at their background from their homes, they have been able to attain a height where everybody or every family or every well-meaning Nigeria we wish for him to be part of such family. Not because they are so special, not because they have different ability aside the ones that has been given to us by God, but because they are able to manage themselves well, discover themselves well, discover what they are supposed to do to become who they are meant to be. And because of that, they were able as parents, as guidance, to sell such understanding, not just the information and knowledge, but the understanding to the best of their ability to those children they are giving birth to, for the children to understand that they need to develop themselves, grow themselves, and find the best possible means of making themselves see through the teachings and the lessons they are giving them, so that the children can become the best of what the society needs. But there are children or families that we are not opportunity. Will I say opportunity? If I say opportunity, I'm not wrong, because we are all part of a generation. And when a generation has a distortion along the line, just like we look at the historical fact of Nigeria being one of the countries that suffered physical enslavement. And one thing from history we'll understand and come to know is that when someone as a human being was once a slave, a physical slaved man, who was only living based on the dictate of his leader or of the person he is being enslaved under, the slave person is told what to do, when to do it, when to even eat, when to bath, when to even take a walk, when to go out and do whatever that needed him to be done. And because of that, his programmed mindset is dwell only on when I am supposed to do something that is being told by my boss or by my master to do. That is when I do it. If not, I will just relax and wait. And because of that, the mind of such a slave becomes so redundant. the mind becomes so unformed properly to think for himself, to act for himself, to do things for himself. And because of that, that slave-minded man will just wait elusively for guidance and direction. So imagine such a slave-minded person is given the opportunity of freedom. He will need to take a time again to reform his mind, to reshape his mind, to understand how best to structure his mind to become a better person. If not, that slave, even when he's presented the best of opportunity to become something great, he will never be able to appreciate it because of his conditioned slave mentality. And because of his conditioned physical slave mentality affected his mind, his thinking psyche, he does no longer know how to provide solution for himself, which makes or warrants for him to undergo a reprogramming of his mind. So most of the times I am tempted to think that what we are suffering sometimes is as a result of the information that were passed through those who had the first-hand experience of the slavery era, whom them assumed the position of leadership without a well-structured, balanced understanding of information or how information should be used. And as such, information we are passed down to generation, and generation keep passing down the same information. And the structure of our education has never been reformed enough for us to develop in the aspect of actually understanding the innovative potentials that are inside of individual human beings as a Nigeria or as an African. Because if we see today, there are lots of youth who are coming up with different innovative ideas in technology, in ICT. All they needed was the funding capacity or the funding power to push them to institution or to formal institution that will develop such ability they have in them. Because some of them are not actually even informed to that extent, or they don't even have the proper informal learning, but we're able to develop some of those unique potentials and develop some of those unique technological know-how or ability in creating some of these crafts or some of these amenities that are not actually amenities yet because they have not been developed to the stage that the general public can use. But they were able to design a prototype of something that can become meaningful, like the innovative structures or amenities that some of the advanced countries are selling to us today. But because some of those people are not able to get a sponsor, or the government does not even see through the vision of what those younger minds are trying to do, and as such, they are all neglected. And because of that, when they try and they are unable to, when someone who thinks you understand the information comes to them and tell them, I want to help you become this, or help you become yourself, or help you become rich with this ability you have, they will take them, groom them, teach them how to harness and use these potentials they have, and then use them against the same community, the same villages, the same society they grow into, because they will tell them that you have this unique ability, but your society failed to help you. So since we have helped you, we are now trying to fight the system that has refused to help you, help your brother, and help your next person to become like you. And because of that, we are fighting a just cause to help people like you who were trapped in their own potential without actually being able to reform and utilize them to the best of their ability. So because of that, join us in this course. Use this your innovative idea and then make it something meaningful that we can use to fight this cause. And because of that, you see people going into crimes and criminality, terrorism that they never meant, or they never planned to. But because of the society failed them, they too want to pay back the society, not because of they originally want to do it, or not because they originally plan to do it, but because of the mind that is shaping them, or the person that is shaping them, giving them the source of, giving them such information, make them believe that that is the best thing they can do for themselves. And because they don't have another better way of understanding, they yield to the advice and the ideas, and they were able to be programmed to become the terrorists they are today, tormenting the general public. I used to think, if I'm wrong, someone can correct me in the comment section. Comment your own view and say that I am wrong. Some of the Fulani herdsmen, some of the Boko Haram, some of the bandits, some of the terrorists we see today, if you meet them before they became terrorists, when they were still growing up, some of them as teenagers with vision, dreams, and aspiration, you meet them and tell them that they will become terrorists tomorrow. They will fight you because they will say you are wishing them bad. You are wishing them evil, because then their mind was still very unique, very tender, very explorable. Explorable in the sense that when you meet him at that time and give him the best quality of information and understanding of who he is supposed to be as an individual human being, he will take his own time to build and reform whatever he has inside of him that has been deposited into him by God. And then when he is able to harness the potentials in him, see through the potentials in him, he will be able to visualize the possibility of him making the best innovative structure, innovative ideology in information on technology or ICT to grow another person that is coming to see and use that idea. The school of thought we have globally today, we are all propagated by people, human beings, who do not have two heads, who also have just same mind, even though different thinking, different perspective, but the same mind that was built into you is built into that person that was able to do this great innovation that this country is using now to enrich themselves by exporting it to us. I work with my friend who owns a truck that was given to him by a renowned engineer, or that was provided to him by a renowned engineer, who I will not mention his name because I need to seek his. I was supposed to seek his consent before bringing his name to the social media. But this engineer was able to help him with the truck, and that truck is what I manage with him for now, because the one the car I was using was sold because the owner of the car needed to travel out of the country, and because of the nature of the car not being in order. So at the time I was using the car, I was doing fixing until the person felt I was not really meeting up, which is normal thing. They will say drivers are always like, but sorry to bring that up. But presently I'm managing the truck with my friend where I follow him to work. At the end of the day, he gave me tips that will help me feed myself. But why do I bring the issue of my friend's truck? We normally carry goods in the cargo warehouse at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. And I watch on daily basis where goods of different types are being imported from other countries to Nigeria. Goods that I see that Nigeria should be able to produce, but they are being imported daily to this country. Even food, even products you feel that are not even supposed to be imported, because we have the raw materials here in abundance. Some man, they even come here to take some of the resources, go back to their country, reform it, and then bring it back to sell to us. Why? Because some of our educational system, not all, sorry to be, for me not to be mistaken, or not for me not to generalize it. Some of our educational structures, or the educational structure of Nigeria, is not well structured and planned to help individual students individual mind as in Nigeria to actually discover what he has inside of him. Instead, we are busy more interested in certification of individual. And when you don't have the best certificate as in Nigeria, you are regarded as you are regarded as someone who is not intelligent. Intelligence today is measured by certificate, by acquiring of certificate. But when you look through some certificates we have today and degrees we have today by individual people, do not quote me wrong to say every graduate is not intelligent. No. But there are intelligent people we have today, but that cannot actually use the knowledge they have to produce something that can be marketable, either in the area of technology or information. But they are all graduates with good certificates. So you begin to wonder how is it possible that someone with such mind, someone with just such a qualification cannot be able to cannot be provide a meaningful solution to a certain problem. Then you have to ask to know the structure of education is passed through. At least for the level I've gone to, in the little understanding I've been able to gain after school, I was able to discover that not from even the little studies I do, but I've seen evidence of what is happening globally, that people carry potentials. People are like seed waiting to be planted in the right soil, seed waiting to be nurtured well, seed waiting to be watered well with the good nourishment, not the artificial concept of watering like we use in normal plants we plant today. Like in Nigeria, we basically dwell in more of fertilizer, which is an artificial way of raising plants or growing plants. Even when it comes to some of our agricultural processing of animal, growing of animal, we use artificial means today. I'm not talking of such artificial. I talk of the ability of a society to structure educational facilities or educational information that will help people to discover that they have original potentials, original abilities, original capability inside of them to become whatever they choose to become. Because I have discovered from the opportunity and privilege that God has given me to stumble upon written materials that were written by people, that our mind is the treasure house of whatever that can become, only that we fail to explore some of those hidden potentials in us that can be made visible when we envision them and then consistently work to bringing them out to the visible reality of man to use, to see, and to work with. Looking back to my life as an addict, or when I was an addict, I discovered that I became an addict not because I was supposed to be. Because naturally, I hated even the smell of smoke when it comes close to me. I have obsessional anger against smokers when I was growing up as a teenager. But what led me to addiction will surprise you. The fact that I was crushing on a lady while in secondary school, SS1 precisely. So when I was crushing on this lady for almost a whole semester, which something I know it still happens among our teenagers today. I crushed on this lady for almost about 3 semesters in secondary school, or 3 times, like we call it in secondary school, 3 times without being able to approach her to talk to her. Not because I don't know how to talk to a lady, or I don't know how to speak to a lady. I speak to ladies on normal, casual occasion as friends. But that period, when it comes to me speaking to her as to friendship, romantic friendship, I was unable to. I struggled for that 3 semesters until I was able to open up to a friend who also I will not disclose his name. This friend told me that, so this is just the simple thing that you know if you do. About F Black. F Black is my nickname. I got that from secondary school. F Black. To talk to this lady that's smart, but what it make I feel like, what it they make me feel like, if you talk to her, say, when they do things where men they do. That's why if you talk to her. I said, what you coming by that one? He tell me say, actually, get what if you take him. Once you take him, there is nothing where if you talk to. There is nobody where if you talk to. If you talk to anybody at any time, you go talk and well self, even better pass where you did normal sense. Normal. I said, what it be that? One time he say, then we call it Kush, which is the cannabis, Indian hemp that we know. So he told me that if I take that, I'll be able to talk to him. Then me not understanding what the effect can be, I told him I don't know how to smoke because I don't like to smoke. He said, no, it's not necessary I must smoke. Sorry, let it not be as if I'm teaching how to take drugs or no, but I'm just trying to share experience when it comes to misunderstanding of information or not getting the right information. So this person told me that I can actually eat it raw or cook with it. But when I did that, that was the worst experience any man can wish, even his enemy. Because that day, I became like a mentally deteriorated person who was lost completely and was unable to hold himself, except was guided by people around him. I ended up in the hospital that day. It took only the grace of God for me to come back to the reality of man. That happened because of lack of understanding of the information I was given. He was doing it and thought it is something that everybody can do it and become okay like him. And he think it was a good thing to do. And me, who didn't understand the effect of what was happening to me, what I was about to go into, went into it blindly. And I lived to regret it ever and always. I've always regretted it because that was a doorway of me venturing into what almost destroyed my life. It took only the grace of God. And that happened because of information that was passed to me by another person like me. And that is what is happening to the programming of minds that have become terrorists and people that are don't even have meaningful expectation or meaningful plans for us. All they do is to carry arms and ammunition against people that people that never offended them, people that never have even known or have any encounter with, but they just go with that mindset or the program mindset of who they have become to do the evil they have been doing. So, not to overflog on this issue, the basic truth is that our educational system really needs a reformation. Our educational system needs to be restructured right from the little level of the child in secondary school. To know that you as a human being, the child or anybody starting his foundational school or foundational learning or starting a foundation of learning from any level, so long as he's able to know his left from his right and he can speak well and know himself, not longer a child that is in the kindergarten or nursery, but at least from the secondary school level, a child should know that my going to school is because I'm pursuing something. I'm not pursuing academic exposure alone, but I'm pursuing the discovery of myself, the discovery of what God has planted in me as a hidden potentials that I need to envision. I need to place my utmost aspiration to attain the level of discovering that potential that is hidden in me. And that potential can be in form of providing social and basic information for the growth of the society, the growth of the nation, and the growth of the Africa and the world generally. Also, the idea can be in the technological aspect of exploring and developing, initiating mechanical tools that will aid the growth of human and aid the development of human. Informations that will provide solutions and resolution to some of the problems, basic problems and universal problems we have today. My prayer is that as we continue to grow together as human beings, we will grow to the level of developing each other intellectually, innovatively, and finding ways to provide solutions to the growth of the general humanity. Let's continue to build each other. Let's not take the social media space to be a place where we individual gather groups or individual design organization or groups that will be fighting each other, causing division, posting things that are not, doing things that are not actually meant to grow us as individual youths. Because today, if you check at the social media space today or platforms today, we are all full of elusive ideology, ideas that will just take you off course, that will not make you settle down to think of the basic reality that are happening, or the reality that is happening to us. Instead, it is all things that people will catch, we call it cruise. People will catch fun, play about it. Even when something that is said on the social media that is supposed to be something that we will settle down carefully, analyze it carefully, and think of posting something in regards to that will make us think critically about our problem. Instead, we design posts or design content that will only just make us laugh, catch fun, and then we forget about it. That like nothing happened. But these are things that are actually basically affecting us. But we use them to catch fun because we ourselves are failing to understand the problem that is affecting us, failing to even look through the deeper picture of the problem that are affecting us. Instead, we use the serious issues that we are supposed to be handled with seriousness to make fun, which is not helping the Nigerian society and the growth of the Nigerian person. When we keep blaming people about leadership, let's ask of the formation of their mind first. How were they formed? How were their mind formed? Then how then can we help to reform the mindset they have today? Which is the power of information we have. Because information is can be good, rich, and helpful. Information also can be weaponized against us. Just like we have secret agencies that are planted in our government today to sell wrong information to us that are going to trap us mentally, refuse us the growth we are supposed to have. Because not every nation you see today globally has a good plan to the African man. There are some nations that have good plans to help the general humanity, but there are some nations that their target is to continue to grow and develop themselves while keeping other nations captive and mentally enslaved, for them not to grow beyond the limit they have placed them. So if somebody has placed a target for you not to get to certain level, will you allow him to use you also and continue to keep you in that place? Because some of our problems are not just internally. Yes, most of the problems are internally, because you need to work with someone in the house to be able to break the house. So, yes, as we pray on daily basis, let's also work on ourselves, work on our minds. Because prayer without working on yourself it will never yield a good result. Just like we have a dilemma that has been happening in the country, where we pray in the night. We pray so well that Nigeria should be good. But in each gathering that we have among the youths, among the age, among the general public, it's all about Nigeria is bad. Nigeria can never become good. Nigeria is bad. So if you are praying that, or wishing in your mouth to wish that something will be bad, and then you are praying for it to be good, aren't you contradicting your prayer? It's just like a father praying for the child to be good at night, or at any time he's praying, and then at any provocation, the father also said, this child is bad, this child is this child can never become, it shall not be well with you, this child, because of you were angered. But you are using your mouth to profess evil to something that you are professing to be good. So how will your prayer work if you are contradicting your prayer? And we have known from historical facts and written documents that the power of death and life lies in the tongue. So whatever you profess can actually stand against you, either good or bad, can actually work for you or stand against you. So let's continue to help each other individually with good information to grow. I still remember Francis, my friends call me L Black.